Hey, all, welcome to Geek Freaks. I am Frank, and I'm with Squeaks today.
Squeaks.
And we have a real full episode for you guys. So, Squeaks and I are going to be going over the news, and then we're heading over to the eSports desk. Later on, we'll have Anthony and Jonathan breaking down the new Facebook app. And we end up recording a top 5 movies, which we're actually going to move that to next week, just because this episode has too much cool stuff in it. And then we also have. We did the Blizzard Corner, which we decided to make Patreon only. So, just because, again, it's too full of an episode. But that Patreon episode is completely free. You just got to check it out on our Patreon site. But yeah, so that's what's going on over there. Squeaks, how you been doing lately, man?
Doing pretty well. Not too much going on, of course, because of the circumstances that we're all in right now. But how about you?
Sure. Doing okay. Yeah, just kind of hanging out, trying to stay productive and kind of scratching the walls a little bit.
Yeah.
I cannot wait to go to the bar together. I just got to get out of this house.
Just clawing at the walls, just getting out.
I'm already like, okay, we're going to Coin Op. I'm like, naming the bars. Like, I'm going to this one. So,
hey,
yeah.
Coin Op's a good one.
Yeah, that is. Okay, so let's do some housekeeping. First off, you know how we normally would like to try to mention the sources during the podcast itself, but while we're recording, we get a little antsy. We get ahead of ourselves. And I'll forget to mention the sources. I want to remind everybody, everything we talk about is an article we've already written on our website. So one of us has written an article. It's on our website. And it includes the sources. So if you want to like, bullshit, these guys are lying, check the website. We have our sources on there and you can confirm everything. Next up, reviews. We've been kind of stagnant on reviews. If you guys want to hit us up with reviews, we really appreciate it. We're going to start up a contest. We're going to give out a free t-shirt at the end of May based on everybody who's reviewed. So new or old, if you already reviewed us, don't worry, you're in the contest. We're going to give a free t-shirt out to somebody. And then lastly, and huge news for us, Patreons have already heard about this, CLNS, we've joined this new media network. What this means for us is there will probably be ads rolling your way in the next few months. The benefit to us is that we are now part of this really cool big group. We can share ideas, we can share guests, and really it's something that helps us learn how to be even better and more professional for you guys. And whatever ads we run, the money goes back into the podcast. It's not like it's like, oh, hey, let's get a couple Ferraris. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about getting new mics. Yeah. We're talking about getting new mics and a nice computer that maybe doesn't freeze up when I try to render a huge video. If you're wondering why our videos don't look so sexy, that's why. And so that's what's in it for us. And then in our partnership with CLNS, what they're receiving is they didn't really have a big video game corner. They needed somebody to cover those esports. And you know us, we're on top of that stuff. So we're bringing them that corner that they're missing. And they realized when I was talking to one of the guys over there that runs the place, he was saying like, man, esports, it's the future. And I'm like, yeah, no duh. That's what we well known already. You guys are there talking about baseball and we're over here talking about Call of Duty. We got the lively one, okay? I'm telling you, I'd rather watch or Call of Duty over baseball any day. So anyways, we're bringing them the esports, and that doesn't mean we're shunning any of the networks we have. We're part of Pod Nation, very proud members are there. We're also part of Altered Radio, and a new one that's coming up pretty soon that we're actually going to be on the ground floor of. And no spoilers there, but that's going to be something really neat where we're going to actually bring in creators, kind of how we do these interviews with comic book writers. We're going to be doing that with a broader variety of different creators. So we really like to kind of get that insight. You really like to hear about superheroes. Let's learn about how they were created. So we're going to be bringing that more to you guys again over the next few months. So pretty exciting news. That's about it. What have you been watching lately, Squeaks? I know we keep doing the watching thing because we all play stuff together. So what have you been watching lately?
I just finished binge watch start to finish in one sitting. The show Waco. It's on Netflix, but it's not from Netflix. I don't know where it's from, but that's a really good show. It was super addicting. It's a limited series, and what I like about that is that it just gets straight to the action right away. By episode 3, they're already having the shootout, and it just goes from there. So I just finished that. How about you? What are you watching?
I just finished Eastbound and Down, and the final season is the best season in my opinion. And I know people are going to fight me on that because it changes format a little bit, but I think it's the best season. And I actually wanted more after the final season. I think I'm going to watch Righteous Gemstones one more time. And then I'm going to go over HBO, see what else I haven't seen yet before, because next week is the final Westworld. And then after that, I think I'm kind of caught up on my HBO stuff. So I usually cancel it until something cool comes back out. That whole thing, that shuffle. No reason to pay for something I'm not watching. So I'm going to go through HBO, Righteous Gemstones one more time. Really good show. And then probably that's about it. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Binging that HBO. All right, let's go ahead and get into our news. This is actually part of the notes, so heads up on that. 2 highly anticipated titles just received new release dates. So both these games were delayed, right? So the first is Last of Us Part 2, was originally set for May 29th and is now June 19th. And then Sucker Punch's Ghost of Tsushima is now being released on July 17th. That was released in June originally. Both these games, huge titles for the PS4. They're kind of the last hurrah for PS4, especially Ghost of Tsushima. Tsushima, there we go. Tsushima. I can't even say that thing right.
Tsushima, yeah.
Yeah, you're right. I'm a slacker. Are you picking up these games?
Most definitely. I mean, if you own a PS4 and you're not picking up Last of Us, I think there's some issues.
Yeah.
That's kind of like owning an Xbox and not going to pick up Halo.
Very good point. Yeah, which would be nuts.
So definitely, I'm really excited about that. And Ghost of Tsushima, just from the gameplay that I've seen, it looks so amazing, so beautiful. It just looks like a cinematic movie the whole time.
Yeah.
So definitely gonna pick up both. I am upset to hear that they are both delayed, but I'm not shocked. I'm a little upset for the fact that stop giving us these dates if you can't stick by them. How many times have you delayed Last of Us? So I'm getting kind of irritated hearing about that. But luckily, it's the both of them. Luckily for both, that they're not pushed back very long. So
yeah,
I'm happy about that.
There was actually some leaks today for The Last of Us Part 2 that basically gave away huge story points. I didn't want to share them here because we are actually so close that it's like you guys are almost there. I don't want to necessarily spoil something for you. So let's hold off on those. But
I got a question. Have you seen the leaks though?
Yeah, they were basically videos that were captures of videos that was showing like this person doing that thing. So
got it.
Yeah. Anyway,
Curiosity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I'm really looking forward to this Ghost game. It looks so amazing, open world samurai game. Man, it's stunning. It's just gorgeous game. So I think they're gonna both do very well. And they're talking about how Ghost of Tsushima, there we go, is gonna be the last PS4 exclusive title. So that kind of shows you how important that game is. It's the last hurrah. Moving on to Nintendo. Nintendo's having a hard time keeping up with demand. It's kind of this perfect, everybody in the house will like Nintendo, your mom, your dad, your kids, everybody will. With the quarantine, sales are through the roof and having a hard time keeping it in stock. And it's made even worse by these smaller resellers that are kind of like on eBay or whatever, that set these little bots up that sit there and buy it as soon as it's in stock somewhere. So say Walmart gets 20 at a certain store, the bot comes in, buys them up, and then somebody goes picks them up. So it makes it even worse. So according to a report by Nikkei Asian Review, Nintendo plans to increase production by 10%. Now, this is a little bit tricky because most of the Nintendo Switch is not actually made by Nintendo. Processors over here, buttons over there. And so they're asking all of their suppliers to pick it up by 10%, but a lot of their suppliers have employees working at home, making this quite the struggle. So we'll see how it goes, but keep that in mind, guys. If you're sitting there hankering for a Nintendo Switch, they're working on bringing them back into the stores. Now, I know you have quite the situation with your Nintendo Switch. You want to break that down for everybody at home?
Yes. So I sent mine to the repair shop right before they shut down the repair
shop
factories. Yeah, I guess repair shop, whatever it is. So it's pretty unfortunate because as soon as I knew that I looked up my tracking number and it was already there. I was like, sweet, I should get it in no time. That's when all the repair shops closed down.
Yeah.
So I have not seen my Switch since, I don't know, early March.
Which means you're missing out on Animal Crossing.
I am.
Yeah.
So instead of worrying about trying to get production out, how about you try to work all the switches that you have how about you fix those? Okay. Gosh.
Yeah, I think they already have your guys' money, so they're not totally worried about it. They're trying to get the new money.
Yeah. $45 to fix it, okay?
Yeah, that is kind of pricey. Hopefully they get it up there. This is a problem that I think any other company would experience because the supply chains nowadays are so big; they're all worldwide. Do you think they should go out of house and maybe get something that's not up to Nintendo standards? Are you afraid that might happen if they're in such a rush to increase their production?
That'd be horrible. It's kind of run into the situation that many people might have the problem that I did with it overheating and the fan not working. So that would be pretty scary to go that route. I think right now this is just a plus for Nintendo because obviously the demand's high.
Yeah.
As a consumer, it's kind of pretty lame just because we can't get our hands on one. But I believe that if Nintendo just pump them out as much as you can, and I mean it'll work eventually for you guys.
Yeah.
You don't want to rush a product that's just gonna have a bunch of people complaining, and then you're gonna get the bad publicity soon if everybody's Switches just stop working within a month.
That's true. They're known for their good quality products. I mean, My N64 controllers all still work really well and stuff like that.
Yep.
That thing's ancient. It's as old as me. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Hopefully they keep up the quality. And it's such a good Nintendo system. I mean, Switch. When I first came out, I was kind of worried. 'Cause I actually thought it was going to be flimsy the way the sides click in, but it is totally a must own for any gamer and for a lot of non gamers. Even my mom she's like, I think I might get one of these.
Yeah.
I used to like playing Nintendo or Mario Brothers. I'm like, well, that's the one it's going to be on. It's not going to be on an Xbox.
Mm-hmm.
So she might be picking herself up one when she can. It's pretty crazy. Moving on to the next one, Venom 2 now has its name and release date as of now. So Venom 2's release date has been pushed back from October 2nd over to June 15th, 2021. So next year. This new date was originally Batman's release date, the one with Robert Pattinson. Warner Brothers also announced the new name, Venom, Let There Be Carnage. This is a clear nod to the next villain. This is Carnage. He's going to be played by Woody Harrelson. What are your thoughts on the name? Do you think they could have done better?
No, because I think that's what we're evolving around for. I mean, I like the little play on words because he's Carnage, and then let there be pretty much mayhem.
Yeah.
So I'm okay with the name. I mean, going into that's what we're gonna get. We're gonna get Carnage. So why not just advertise him more? I think the more advertising of the character that we really want to see, because obviously every time we see Spider-Man, we want Venom, we want Carnage, we want one of those big guys.
Right.
So I think with them advertising it like that, I think that's a plus.
Do you think Maximum Carnage would have been a better name since it's based off the comic book?
I see what you're
art?
saying.
Or
Yeah,
is
maybe.
that too
Maybe.
kind of inside baseball? That's my thing. Is I mean, for the comic book fans, you'd be like, sweet. But if you're like
Yeah,
Maximum Carnage, Let There Be Carnage kind of sounds like this summoning of a character. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for us comic book, okay, so as comic book people, I can see like we're getting really excited just because of the Maximum Carnage. But
Yeah.
then on the outside looking in, you're like, okay, that sounds like a title for a 5-year-old.
Yeah, yeah. It sounds kind of like almost like a Deadpool kind of joke.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
So yeah, I'm excited for it. I gotta be honest with you guys, still haven't seen Venom 1, which is a blind spot for me. You've seen Venom, correct?
Yeah, but you're not missing much. Just waiting for it to be free or something.
Daniel swears by it. He almost gave it his Death Stranding score, so we'll have to. I'll have to check it out. I'll check it out. Why not? I'm watching everything else under the sun, so I'll have to see. Okay, moving on to HBO. What I have been watching, HBO Max has confirmed to be coming out May 27th, and it'll be free for a lot of you guys. HBO Max will have the entire library of HBO, which is already a good deal, plus a bunch of new content. We've already talked about some of this new content, Justice League Dark and whatnot, and the new Perry Mason. This new streaming service is going to be normally $15 a month, except for some of the AT&T customers. So if you're current subscriber to HBO, you're going to get it for free on DirecTV, Uverse, or AT&T. Sorry, because they own all those. So you're going to be getting there. Well, AT&T owns everybody. Owns all this. Anyway, so sorry. New customers will also receive 1 year as kind of a promotional thing. Like, sign up for DirecTV and get 1 year of HBO Max. Makes sense. Other current DirecTV providers or users, so say you don't have the HBO package, you're going to get 3 months of HBO Max for free to give it a shot. Good time to catch up on like some of the classics. Game of Thrones if you're crazy and don't know what's going on with that. Or just some of the older ones. Like actually, yeah. Go to your Eastbound and Down, your Vice Principal, and your Righteous Gemstones. Catch up on those. Those are really good. And, I mean, some of them are only a few seasons long. And then if you are an AT&T wireless user, you're going to get a 3-month free trial, except for those who have the AT&T Internet 1000 plan and the people who have the Unlimited Elite plan. You guys are getting it free forever, as long as you have those plans. With all of these little stipulations, are you getting HBO free? And if not, would you bother paying for it?
Well, apparently I am because I'm an AT&T user.
Good. So, okay, cool.
At least get the trial. But with all these streamings services out there, it's more like, okay, we could argue, why don't we just pay for cable if I'm going to pay for this many services? Yeah, right. But you're not getting the exclusives that these services have, that it's not going to be on cable. I have to see what's on HBO first before I even try it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's I don't know what's really. I guess Righteous Gemstone would be a pull for me. If they maybe make another Vice Principals, I don't know.
They closed up Vice Principals, which is sad, but yeah.
Man, I know. I want more though. But we'll see. I guess if you're, what's gonna be the big pull is like the Game of Thrones. What's gonna do? Not the current Game
True.
of Thrones, but what they're making
The
now.
new ones, yeah. That'll get those sub numbers
Uh,
up right away.
yeah, for sure. I will subscribe for that. So, but in the meantime, yeah, I don't know. I guess it's just gonna depend. With all these services, all depends what exclusive there are. Like Disney has their Mandalorian.
True.
Netflix has, I mean, countless. Starting, Stranger Things, etc.
Hmm.
HBO or Hulu has like their Castle Rock, which I really enjoy. I
Yeah.
haven't caught too much on the second season, but the first season I really enjoyed. So just depends what they have for exclusives.
Yeah. And that's kind of the way I roll it is like, look, Stranger Things is out. Make sure. Well, that Netflix is the one example that or one that I have all the time. But
Yeah.
like, a new whatever Righteous Gemstones comes out, I'm gonna get HBO for a while, or Westworld. I'm gonna waste my money on HBO for a while, and then something cool on Hulu comes out, I'll get that. Something out of Amazon Prime, I'll catch that. So there's certain ones I'll just kind of pick up for a couple months, get my fill, and then it's like, well, why am I wasting my money on this? So I try to rotate it around, not necessarily because they're super expensive, but if you were to buy all of them, it would be. And I think it's just responsible consumerism. You know what I'm saying? And what happens when we do that is then the companies know to kind of bring more content our way. So a good example is Disney Plus. There's a lot of people right now who are not watching Disney Plus. Why? Because Mandalorian is over. But now they know, like, okay, so we got to start filling up these content drops. That's why they moved up a couple of the Marvel ones. So now the Marvel ones are coming this year instead of next year, things like that. This is what a responsible consumer, that's their effect on the industry. So we kind of tell them what we want by how we pay for things. And yeah, that's how HBO Max is going to be treated for me as well. I actually get it for free as well because of the AT&T wireless thing.
Yeah.
But outside of that, I would have totally been like, I'm going to hold off until something cool comes out again. But yeah, I'm actually pretty excited about HBO Max because I'm so tired of the HBO Now and Go mix up. So I'm hoping this will just kind of replaces both of them.
Yeah, that'd be nice because that is confusing. So it'd be nice
Yeah.
just to have one central streaming service app. So.
Yeah, that's going to be good. Okay, this is a sad story here. Epic Games finally gives in to Google. So Epic Games, well, go ahead. We've already broken this story maybe a year ago, year and a half even. Epic Games was in this long struggle against Steam. They both have these video game clients on the PCs. And what it breaks down to is Steam was charging 30% to every developer who sold a game. So say you bought, whatever, a game you bought Halo on Steam, 30% of that's going to Steam, to Valve's pocket, and the rest is going to Microsoft. While over at Epic, they only took 12%, no matter your size, only 12%. And Epic kept pushing the pressure on them. Finally, Steam gave in a little bit and made it to where, look, if you hit 10 million in sales, we'll bring it down to 25%. And then if you push it up to 50 million in sales, we'll bring it down to 20%. A little bit more favorable. Now, the indie guys were all upset about this, but let's be honest with you, or to be honest, it's the tent poles that keeps the doors open, right? So as long as they don't lose the big games, the Steam's going to be fine. And that's what it was meant for. So the reason Epic was able to do this big fight is because, of course, they provide Fortnite. And Fortnite funds the company. That's why they're able to give away free games every Thursday, stuff like that, which, guys, every Thursday, check out Epic. They give free games and it's awesome. But the entire time they've been fighting with Steam, they're also fighting with Google. Google owns the Android phone. It's their operating system. And they want everything to be done through the Google Play app, which I don't care for myself. And through that app, they charge that same 30%, even for all the little microtransactions. It's freaking nuts. Think of how much that adds up, right? Every Candy Crush you go through. So players of the Android have to actually use the browser to get around it to play Fortnite on their phones this time. And what Google's been doing, because they're trying to force Fortnite to give into this 30% deal and get onto the Google Play app, what they've been doing is they've been increasing the malicious warnings against Fortnite players. So say you're playing on the Android phone and you're using your workaround, you keep getting the alert saying, oh, you're using a malicious program, careful, you don't want to get a virus. It would stop your game. Upsetting Fortnite players. And it's unfortunate that Google has to play this way. It's kind of just chicken shit, to be honest with you. And so finally, Epic had to give in. They can't overpower Google. They can overpower Steam, but not Google. And so they're going to let Google take 30% of all their sales, of all the microtransactions, skins, everything, your Game Pass and all that stuff like that. So what do you think about that? Do you think Epic has the right, and Epic's going to Google saying like, look at our PC. This is how it's supposed to be done. This is how the client's supposed to be run. Do you think Epic's in the right here? And I mean, what should they have done? What was the option for them?
I couldn't. It'd be too much to pull Fortnite off of Android systems, wouldn't it? That'd be nuts.
My thing is, I wonder if there was, because if they were to just straight up pull it off of all of Androids, I wonder if the player outcry would have been so high it would force Google's hands to give them an exception to the rule.
Oh yeah, that'd been nice to see that pushback instead of giving in. But I mean, on the Google side, you're kind of like, if I was running the business, I mean, more
Right.
profit to something that's extremely popular.
Yeah.
It's I don't know. I don't. It sucks, but I mean, I'm on like both sides, really.
And I was as well, especially back in the Steam versus Epic fight. I actually sided with Steam originally. As
Mm.
time went on, and I've used the Epic Game Store more and more because of the free games, I've actually grown to like the Epic Game Store. It has its flaws, just like Steam does, but I can see some potential there. I think, of course, once the Fortnite money starts to dry up, their policies will quickly change. I wish that this story was more publicized. It feels like it was kind of brushed under the rug. Nobody was really talking about this. But if Epic took this moment to actually start telling the world, like, look, Google is taking 30% of all the sales and not budging, it might have put in some national spotlight on them. The Steam fight was pretty loud out there. The Google one was being suppressed. And look, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I mean, if you were to Google something about this, you might not find as many articles as you'd like. You know, it might be something there.
But if you binged it,
If you Binged it, you can find all the articles you want. You and the 3 other people using Bing, you're all over it. Yeah. We're actually going to be talking about Bing later on.
that just popped up in my head.
Oh, that's
shoot.
great. So, what are your thoughts on this? Anything else you want to say before we close out on this, guys?
No, I mean, it's nice to see the competition.
We need
Instead
it.
of
We
someone
definitely
just
need it.
owning it, yeah. But Steam has just been around for so long, and it's like if I know I'm going to buy a game, and it's on every client, I'm going to go to Steam. I mean,
That's why they had such a position in the fight in the first place. If it wasn't for that, then game developers would have easily gone over to Epic and stayed on Epic because I mean, 12% versus 30% is ridiculous. It's a
yeah,
really good deal. But the problem is look, I already have a library of 600, 700 games on Steam.
yeah.
Why would I want to, try to start a brand new library? And I
That's
think that
kind
might
of
be why they're giving away the free games is so people start to build these library, which was free, but they build that library on Epic Games where they don't feel as bad about using it for the first time.
yeah. That's kind of why what was confusing to me when I first got into the PC gaming is that
Hmm.
why do I need to click on 4 different applications to
Right. Yeah.
play the game I want to? So that's why all my stuff is usually on Steam. But you get the hang of it after a while.
It takes a bit. Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't bother too much. Um, but yeah, so it's kind of like like an Xbox. All my games are just on the Xbox. So I like how all my games are just on Steam.
It's nice to have them all in one place. I can't stand when I buy a game on Steam and then I have to open it up in Ubisoft's Uplay
Yeah,
launcher and then it has an anti-cheat program that has to run real quick. And I'm just like, come on, guys, let's let one person handle this. Even if you were to kind of combine them all into like a fake browser version that kind of just does all the clicks for me,
yeah,
that'd be
yeah.
great. It's just so silly that these are ran everywhere.
Hmm.
Um, and yeah, and again on this Epic versus Google thing, I feel like Google has too big of a name, but I think Epic could have put a better fight up. I know they've been trying for years now, and I just wish it was more publicized. But it's interesting. I mean, we have to be again smarter consumers, and just think about this next time you're out there buying a Google phone or something like that. Now I don't know what Apple's cut is, but apparently Epic had no problem with it. I should
Yeah,
have looked that up actually. But yeah, apparently they didn't have any problem with it. The worst part about all this is the fact that people were playing just fine on the Android phones after their workaround, and Google's making sure that it's considered malicious. I mean, that's just shady.
yeah. It
That's too
is
bad.
definitely that's such a cock move.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you nailed it. Yeah, that's exactly right. All right, next up. Now this article. There's sometimes when I'm sitting there and I'm writing notes, and I'm like, oh man, this one is good. This one's passionate. I proofread it twice. This is really good stuff. Okay, so we've been reporting to you guys over the past month the fact that Diamond Distributors basically closed down the entire comic book industry, right? It started off with them saying that, look, we don't have enough demand for comic books, so we're going to stop shipping comic books. And so all of a sudden, all the local comic book shops were not receiving any new comic books. This happened on March 23rd when Steve Geppi, the CEO of the parent company, Geppi Family Enterprises, said, like, look, we're out of business for now. And then they told a couple weeks later, they said, look, we're not going to pay DC or Marvel or Image or Dark Horse or any of those guys any money because we're not moving comic books. So it doesn't make sense for us to pay our bills. And there can be arguments on both sides for that thing, but the way that they operate, I'm just not a big Diamond Distributor fan. So I will admit I have strong bias in this argument, okay? So moving forward, if I'm saying things that seem a little biased, I'm clearing it up right now. Yes, there is.
Mm.
Okay. DC just made a huge move. Okay, this is big. They've announced that they're bringing brand new comic books into your comic book shops on April 28th. So when you're listening to this podcast, brand new comic book shops or brand new comics are in your shops right now. You guys can go get them. Okay, they're using Jim Lee's the one that announced this. You love Jim Lee. I love Jim Lee. He's amazing, right? So he announced this. He says starting on Tuesday, April 28th, then continuing on May 5th and 12th. This is the comics that were meant to go out on April 1st, but then Diamond canceled everything right before they went out. So these are the ones that are out there now. They're going to be using two smaller distributors, one called Lunar Distribution and the other one called UCS Comic Distributors, to get these out. So these guys have normally worked with smaller comic creators that are kind of indie comics. These guys have worked with indie comics in the past. Now they're working with DC, some big guys. So Jim Lee, who is the chief creative officer and amazing, comic book artist himself and writer, told Kevin Smith on his podcast. Everybody knows Kevin Smith. He had a quote here. He says, "The stores that are open and have figured out ways to stay in business, we want to help them out. We want to give them products to sell. We want to give them the lifeblood that keeps their business afloat." What a great quote that shows DC has heroes that don't wear capes. You know what I'm saying? That's such a cool quote. And a lot of our listeners, by the way, guys, I want to say thank you to you guys. I know you guys have been going out, buying those gift cards, buying the magic cards, buying old comic books to help keep your local comic book shops open. Now, why am I so biased against Diamond Distributors? They've had a monopoly since the 90s on all distribution. And it's really been putting a chokehold on innovation in the industry, right? So they've bought up all these little things across UK and Canada and United States, all the small distributors, and made sure that all the big guys have to go through them to be able to sell their comic books. And they even had the U.S. Justice Department in '97 open up an investigation against them about an antitrust investigation to make sure they're not a monopoly, right? So in the investigation, it was closed in November 6, 2000, after deciding that, here it is, here's the quote, "Although Diamond enjoyed a monopoly in North America over comic books direct market distribution, they did not enjoy a monopoly over the books distribution." This got every comic book person pissed off, right? I know I'm looking at your face through Zoom right now and you're like, wait a minute. That doesn't make sense. Exactly. It doesn't make sense. So everybody who is a comic book fan was upset about this because, well, books and comic books are two different things. The distribution doesn't work the same way, Yeah. Getting out the next Harry Potter is not the same as every Tuesday or every Wednesday a new comic book needs to be on that shelf, and it's a different variety. It's a whole different story. So anyways, that's always been kind of the stranglehold and everybody's trying to break through. With DC supporting two smaller distributors, this could open up the doors for other distributors, and Lunar and UCS, the other distributors, can use this to really grow and bolster. They're going to have to up production like crazy. So they have a chance to create something now where there's innovation, and we need innovation in this industry because it basically hasn't changed since the 90s. This is an industry that hasn't changed since the 90s. That's nuts. So a lot of the digital automation and stuff like that, that's all been kind of lackluster for these guys. So that's a lot of information coming your way, Squeaks. We probably should have broken up as we go. I just got too excited. This is how the story is.
Yeah, you did. I felt that excitement.
So let's go ahead and talk about this. What are your thoughts on DC getting comic books out to the small comic book shops? Let's start with there.
Okay, so my favorite thing what DC is doing is going to those different distributors to branch out and see wonder if someone else could do things a little better than what Diamond used to do, right. Or is doing currently. What I hope happens is that this other companies like Marvel, Image, and Dark Horse kind of do the same thing and get off of Diamond if they're using it, and then do different things. Then maybe we can get comic books handed to us. I don't know what more frequently or easier or more amounts or just different ways for more easy access for us. Because, we're kind of jumping into a world where everything's just digital now. So what's going to what's going to make me go to the comic book store and get the comic physically over just clicking a button right now? So if somehow they could do maybe a delivery system. What if they do a delivery system to your home?
That would be nice. But that's basically what Amazon does.
But then we're going to get rid of the comic book stores I know hate me.
Yeah.
Okay, so.
Everybody go team up on Squeaks. No.
Yeah.
Well, my thing is what if they had a nice little pool list, like you would at your local comic book shop, but have something where you go to the local comic book shop, they have a computer system there. They're like, well, what do you want? And then it's all computerized and you could track it. And then it would give you, text alerts that are done by the distributor, not so much by their local comic book shop who's already going to be bogged down with things to do.
Yeah.
Now, if you've ever been on Diamond Distributor's site, it looks like it's made in the 90s, and they haven't needed to upgrade it. It looks terrible. So there is no way to like place an order or something like that through there. You have to actually call them. It's just nuts. So yeah, if there's kind of this thing where I can log into my account, something sort of like that, and then just see how the comic books are coming in. Like, oh man, that's right. I got to pick up these 3 that just came in.
Yeah.
I think that'd be a lot of fun. That's the thing is we don't know how much better it can be because it hasn't changed in so long.
I wonder if they did set up kiosks like that at comic book stores. I wonder if there is a kiosk there, and if they don't have a comic or you want more of something, that you can order right there instead of them doing it for you. But it's kind of more interactive because maybe you can see a huge library that the comic book store does not have.
Well, and the best part about a comic book shop is the knowledgeable person there selling comics.
Yeah.
So not only are you sitting there like, well, what do you suggest? And then you're looking at their shelves and they're like, oh, what's really cool is, The Killing Joke, which is of course one of those popular ones. The Killing Joke, but we don't have it in stock. But let me show you at the kiosk. You know what I'm saying? And I can get it in for you on Tuesday.
That's such a good sell too, though, because then you're just okay. I'm talking to you about The Killing Joke. Oh, by the way, what's like maybe a suggestion area is multiple other comic books that you might like. So that's just a selling point for comic book stores too to get you to buy more.
Yeah.
Which
and
yeah, I never have a problem with that.
Right, but it's even better than that. So like say on Amazon, say you're looking at something and it has the suggested items underneath. I wish there was a person next to me that says, yeah, but you really don't want that one. Yeah, that one's, well, oh, you know what? I know you because you're one of my regulars. You really like this one. Like they could even narrow down the search in a more personal way.
Yeah. I mean, that's what happened to me. That's so kind of like Saga. We love Saga. But that's how it all started with me is the guy that I always talk to knew my interest. And he's like, oh, maybe you want to check out Saga because I was looking for something new that wasn't so superhero-ish. I was like, okay, whatever. I'll give it a try. It's one of the best series I've ever read.
We want to name the comic book shop that was? Give him a shout out while we're on here.
Launchpad in Lodi, California. Right now, I'm a little scared because all their windows are cardboard up. So I'm hoping this is just a Corona thing and not a closing thing. Yeah. But everything else is still up, like the open sign and some posters. So I was like,
Whenever I've gone into his shop, he's had customers around, and he is super knowledgeable. He's very, very knowledgeable. Okay, so Diamond's Monopoly, of course, we talked about how innovation could be needed and stuff like that. And DC's moving forward. Here's some of the DC comic books that you guys can pick up on May 28th. Let me know if you're going to get any of these weeks. So we have Batman number 89. This is the 3rd printing of Batman number 89. Actually just bought the 2nd printing last week. Daphne Brine number 4. The Dreaming number 20. This is the conclusion of the Dreaming saga. Nightwing number 70. This is the 2nd printing. This is with the Joker in there. And then Batman Giant number 4. This is the 100-page issue. This real, massive one. Any of these that spark your interest?
The Batman Giant only because I like comic books that I think sometimes I wait for the trade. So if anything, I could get a more complete story and instead of just a little issue, is what's going to bring my attention towards that comic over others.
Batman number 89, you might want to pick up if you can find it because that is the introduction of Punchline, which is Joker's new girlfriend.
Oh.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. So that's why I was like, oh, score! I grabbed that one. Now, for you fans out there that are collectible fans. Think of this. These 2 smaller companies are going to be doing the distributing. So that means that there's probably going to be a lot less actual comic books in the stores. So if you get your hands on these, just collectible-wise, I can't imagine the value of these things not going. I bet the 3rd printing of Batman 89 is going to be more valuable than printing number 2 because there's a lot less of the 3rd printing. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. You got this indie distributors that are trying to get out. So they're probably going to get like maybe 5 of each to each store, maybe. So all of a sudden, boom, the value goes up.
How long do you think that'll last until people will just be like, oh, I'm just going to get it digitally?
People are already doing that. I mean, even for you and I, like I love to go to the comic book shop, discover something new, maybe pick up like something I'm really collecting because I'm a collector. But for like my everyday reads, I have a Comixology, pass and all that. And there are a lot of comic books on my list and I'm sitting there just perusing through there. You can't help,
There's the feel will never go away. Like I love the feel of going to the comic book store and talking to my guy at the Launchpad. But to fight for a Batman comic when I know I could just get it digitally, that's what might kill me.
Yeah.
But I think I would still go to the comic book store and pick up things I wouldn't think I would read. Kind of like my Saga story.
Mm-hmm. Discover something
just one supportive and discover something new.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean that's all good things there. Diamond, they of course are all upset about this, and they're saying that like, no, we still have a contract with DC. All the comics you guys have already ordered are coming. Really, kind of shoving things. So they actually didn't even talk to DC. They went right to they actually emailed all the little comic shops like, we're sending you comics on the middle of May. Like no, we don't need your comics now. DC's going to be bringing us our comics already, so it's going to create this weird thing. And we've seen inside of Diamond Distributors plants, they're all empty. All the shelves are empty, so it's not like they have anything to really send right now. And they're just being really aggressive. We'll see how things shake out. For this one, guys, please check out our website for the sources because I'm pretty proud of that. This one took a lot of research. One of them straight up a law book, Squeaks. I'm telling you, I went real fancy on this one, okay?
What do you think if we interview one of these comic book owners and see what their experiences is with the change?
I am actually midst of working that. I'm working on that. Yeah,
Nice.
I want to have
Okay.
you in on it too.
Okay. Yeah, for sure.
Over at Cards and Comics.
Okay.
I'm going to be working on that.
Sure.
Next 2 weeks from now, we have an interview with a new comic book writer. I'm excited to share that with you guys. We actually already recorded it, but it'll be coming out the week of May 15th. So that's a fun one too. But yeah, I'm working on that one, Squeaks. It's gonna be fun.
Nice.
It's gonna be cool. We'll have to get some Magic cards while we're there too. I'm just saying.
Of course.
I bought the new deck. Nobody's wanting to play with me. It feels like middle school all over again. I got my Magic cards sitting in the corner. I'm just counting them.
We got the webcams now, so my deck's already ready.
No, you need no. I have a brand new, gonna be cracking the box open, opening booster decks on camera. I need you to have some brand new. I don't want you to bring out your old, well-worn deck. I want something brand new that's untested.
Okay, I can do that.
All right. Let's open them on cam. We'll stream that out, guys, and then we'll share it with everybody. All right, moving on to the next thing. Team Fortress 2 has been breached in May 2018. A disgruntled Lever Softworks employee released a source code for both CSGO and TF2. So for CSGO, it was a 2017 patch called Operation Hydra, which has already been replaced. It was an older patch, and they modernize the game often. TF2, unfortunately, it was the patch they still use, the Jungle Inferno patch. So this source code is leaving TF2 players vulnerable to malware, and it gives a third party full control over your PC. So you open up TF2, you play a little bit, and apparently they can get in and check out your banking or whatever else you store on your computer, any folders you don't want open and whatnot. Okay, so this is kind of becoming a little foggy because the Reddit universe, they keep posting up pictures like, oh, I got hacked, and these like fake baloney ones. And so a lot of the people trying to report on the story are having a hard time kind of feeding through Reddit, doing Reddit's things. It's really becoming hard. The Team Fortress 2 Twitter account states that they've investigated the issue. The game's completely safe to play. And then TF2 and CSGO have both come out and said, like, if you guys do discover where this leak is from, please tell Valve Security. So they acknowledge that the leak happened, but they say that the game's still free to play. So, take that as you will. Now, here's the thing that's really... So, hold on, I'll cut that part. What do you think about that on their statements there? Do you trust them?
No, I mean, okay, I could trust them, but I'd still be scared. I mean, we spend how much money onto our computers, and the last thing we want is someone taking control of our computer, and who knows what they're getting out of it. So I would not. I mean, even though I might trust you, I wouldn't take the risk until I know everything's for surely settled.
Yeah, I think it's best you guys just wait before you open these, even though they're saying that it's fine. Now, people that I'm finding to trust even more are some of the leaders in the community. So there's Two Eggs, which is a prominent modder for because there's a lot of modding that goes on in Team Fortress 2. He tweeted out a PSA urging people to avoid opening TF2, discussing the malware thing, and waiting for Valve to respond. And Valve hasn't responded since the 22nd. So it's been forever since they've even brought this up, and yet the community is still worried. The Steam site is called Steam Database. You guys should really be following this Twitter account and checking out the website. They are on top of it. They show all these stats for everything that runs on Steam and everything like that. It's a really interesting site. They break news like crazy. If there's a leak, it's from, they're the ones that are first reporting it. They first had the screen grab of the leaked code. They actually have the screen grab of it and have it posted on their Twitter, and it's on our website as well, so you guys can check those out. So the community leaders are saying, be careful. Don't open Team Fortress 2 while you got the companies that are saying, oh no, you're safe, you're safe, you're safe. Which do you find to be more accurate? I mean, I find myself siding with the community leaders, the ones that are actually out there that don't have anything to lose.
Yeah, and I feel like you have to. I feel like you have to. And for this situation, like I just mentioned, I'm here looking out for myself, so I'm not going to take any risk to wreck anything that I've owned or spent a lot of money on or put a lot of time in, because this is what I enjoy doing. The last thing I want is someone hacking into my computer and wrecking everything.
Yeah.
So,
it's too bad because Team Fortress 2 has been around for a long time, and there's some very loyal players, kind of like Overwatch, actually. A lot of people would compare the two together with their communities and whatnot. So you feel bad for these players because this is like their game, and that happens for a lot of other communities as well. But I think we need to just take a while, take a breather, let play something else for a bit. Let Valve come out with a statement that says, like, look, guys, this is what the problem is, and they're fine. I don't know. I still don't trust it. I mean, at your own risk right now, guys. Just kind of be careful out there.
Now you brought up you just said the word Overwatch. Now, if this were to happen to Overwatch, I'd probably take the risk.
No, okay.
I'm like, yeah, I don't care. I'm playing Overwatch.
But it's the same thing. The people who are dedicated to Overwatch, like you and myself, we would have to be careful.
That is tough, yeah.
So yeah, I know we're talking. We're not TF2 fans, but we're talking to TF2 fans that'd be like, oh no, don't worry about it, guys. I got this. So, I'll just scrap the computer later on. All right. Normally we do good news at the end of the show during this whole COVID thing. I decided to take a couple pieces of good news and just share them right here. So first up, Xbox is helping players give back, and what they're doing is your Microsoft reward points. I don't know if you've signed up for this yet, Squeaks, but it's pretty cool. You've been able to donate to the CDC Foundation to help fight the COVID-19. So far, once they announced that, they had 100,000 donations equaling hundreds of thousands of dollars. And so now Xbox is stepping it up. They're actually donating to the United Nations Foundation and Global Giving. Players can earn these points from just making an account on MicrosoftRewards.com. You just link it to your regular Xbox account. And then just play any Microsoft game. So Sea of Thieves, Halo, whatever. You can get out there, get your Forza on. You're going to be raking up these points. And then you could donate them on the dashboard of your Xbox. There's a little spot for it. You can pick which charity you want to donate to and donate as many points as you want. Each point you donate equals $1. So that shows you how much money you could really be raking in if you're just sitting there playing games. You could be doing good with that. Some non-gamer ways to make to earn some reward points is searching with Bing. If you want to be one of those 5 people. Get out there with Bing. Shop Microsoft products. So like actual new Xbox, stuff like that. If you were to actually do that with a rewards account, you rake up a ton of points, and then you can put that money back into some good charities. You can use the Edge browser. You could rent or buy movies through the Xbox. You have that option, or even on your computer, as long as you use the Windows 10 rental system. All these ways to give back. Squeaks, have you signed up for rewards yet?
No, I have not.
Okay.
What I do like about this though, it makes it easier to donate, and that's what I think is gonna. That's what's coming with all these donations, is that if you make it more accessible for people and easy for people, then they're willing to do it.
Yeah.
So even if I'm just sitting on the couch, I'm like, oh yeah, I'll just do like maybe $3 or something. How many other, let's say, million people are going to do $3, and then look at all that money you got.
And when I made the account, dude, just like in the initial setup and kind of like that, you can get 50 points if you do the tutorial. You can rack up points so fast. So get on there, at least do the initial setup. You'll get a ton of points, and then jump on your Xbox and donate them. I think you have to have a minimum of 1,000 to donate. But
okay.
I think Sea of Thieves in a couple hours, I'll probably have that in no time.
Yeah.
And Minecraft. Oh God, if I could name all the games that I'll be racking up points with, you could be doing a lot of help.
Now I know we're talking about charity, but what are the rewards for these points?
So typically you can buy, I think it's customizations. I haven't really looked into it too much. There is some sweet swag in there though. There is a whole swag shop you guys could take a look at and see what you want to exchange your points for normally.
Okay.
If you don't want to give to charity, Squeaks.
Not saying that at all. I'm just trying to learn more about this rewards program.
All right, our last good news bit we have here is, and this is dearing to both of you and I, everybody here on the podcast. We're huge Blizzard fans, so this is the moments that gets us at BlizzCon. This is the actual Blizzard that we love. It's not the Activision garbage. It's this. So Blizzard sent all their employees. What's that?
I was like, wow, the Activision little shadow you just threw out there.
Look, it is out there. Oh yeah, I was on board with booing them at BlizzCon when Activision stepped up on stage. I was not happy. So anyways, Blizzard sent all their employees home to work from home, and they are paying everybody that goes home, including the janitorial staff, everybody that doesn't necessarily work on a computer. They're all getting paid for being at home and keeping the place safe. They also gave care packages to everybody. They even delivered them to their houses, and they set up like a little drive-through in the parking garage. The people can come by, pick up soap, toilet paper, paper towels, cleaning supplies, all kinds of goodies, snacks, a bunch of snacks in there and stuff like that, so they kind of get their morale up. Right now, all Blizzard employees are under a lot of strain because we have Overwatch 2, we have Diablo 4, and we have Shadowlands all on the horizon. So it's really hard time for Blizzard to be shut down like this. But they're really trying to step it up and help out their guys. The other thing they're doing is, and this is at the California and Texas branch, which are the two main headquarters. So the other thing they're doing is, this week has always been Take Your Kids to Work Week. Really fun event, especially at Blizzard when they have giant statues of orcs. They got rooms with like cool shields and swords on the wall and all kinds of decorations and stuff like that. They really lean into it. So what they did this time is they did a virtual version. They were giving tours throughout BlizzCon, like, hey, this is where your mom and dad work. This is where your dad over here and your mom over there. Da 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 da. And it was really awesome is Chris Metzen, one of the original Blizzard people, who is the voice of Thrall, was reading storybooks to kids. And I mean, I'm like, why was I not in on that Zoom call? Yeah, right. I would have loved it. What are your thoughts about this?
These are the type of things that say, you know what, money doesn't matter to me right now. A company that's taking care of me this much is truly what's more important to me. And that's just going... I don't even think that's a way past above and beyond. That's fantastic for these employees.
Yeah, it shows a company that actually cares for their employees. You know, we've talked about often different companies that are pushing their employees too hard, and these guys are in a time when crunch would actually be most used, when they have 3 games on the horizon, and yet they're like, go home, stay safe. Here's some snacks. Yeah. It's just a cool move all around. Props to Blizzard. Again, guys, we have a whole Blizzard corner covering all the new stuff that's been data mined from BlizzCon. You guys can check it out on our Patreon. Completely free. Go take a listen.